The Dragon Ball Legends 4th anniversary has been going on for a few weeks now, and honestly speaking, I'm not even mad, I'm just disappointed. The first part of the Dragon Ball Legends 4th anniversary is still underway, and so far, it's safe to say that this anniversary has not only been underwhelming, but is easily the worst anniversary we've had out of all 4 years. Now, I'm happy that Mui Goku's in the game, because he's a character that everybody's been wanting to see in the game for a very, very long while, but that unit alone can't save an entire anniversary. We have lack of content, and not only that, literally within the span of 24 hours, we've had the game be inaccessible. You guys might see a little bit of green because my green screen, like chroma key, is still active, but we've had the game be inaccessible within the span of 24 hours twice already. One was, it was down for maintenance, and the other one is just down, and we have no idea why. I don't know what's going on over there with the development team, but they really got to step it up. This video is honestly not scripted. I was not even planning on making this video today. I wanted to make a video of myself using Zenkai Vegito Blue on Fusion Warrior because I still haven't done that yet. But as I was trying to make that video, I tried logging in, and as you guys saw, it's just loading and loading and loading. So right now, I'm just gonna rant or vent about like how I feel about this current anniversary, and at least try to make it relatively cohesive. Starting off with the whole logging in issue, I don't know what's going on back there. Again, we had maintenance yesterday, which had the game down for a little bit. It was unscheduled maintenance, mind you. We are getting compensated for that with 250 crystals, but now, not even 24 hours later, the game is inaccessible again for whatever reason, and it's not even down for like emergency maintenance or anything of the sort. It's just that we can't log in at all. So, I mean, it could be an issue with Google. I don't know. Last time I checked, Google's working perfectly fine. It could also be an issue with the game itself, and they may need to put it back down under maintenance to try to fix that issue. But during an anniversary, these type of situations shouldn't be happening like that. I don't think that something like this has happened with the previous 3 anniversaries at all. Like, maybe there was like a quick maintenance or something, but not to the point where they were literally back to back. I'm so glad that after the first maintenance happened, I managed to knock out my daily, so I don't have to worry about that. But I'm assuming that a lot of people are bothered by this because they want to be able to play the game, myself included, because I wasn't even able to make a video today of me playing the game because of this thing happening. So I'm hoping that they get to this quickly, because this is not a good sign. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is the events. The events have been very lackluster. Now, granted, the story, like the anniversary story event, was fine, right? You know, because we all know what those events are for. The anniversary story events are usually there to help promote and hype up the new headliner, right? As well as, you know, just hyping up the anniversary in general. So I think that they did perfectly fine with that. Like, I enjoyed the story. Obviously, you know, if you guys haven't played it by now, something's wrong. But, you know, at the very end, it shows Mui Goku and all that good stuff, you know, 4th anniversary. That was perfectly fine, right? Every event that followed after that has been very lackluster, and it's by a large margin. Like, they were handled very poorly. Prime example is co-op. I mean, co-op is co-op, right? And people feel like however they feel about the event, but the way how the anniversary medals are distributed was very bad. Under no circumstances should those medals have been a rare or relative like drop. It should have been guaranteed point blank period. And not only that, so in order to help yourself even get those medals, actually no, if I'm not mistaken, for those medals in particular, there is no way to actually boost the drop rate. It's either you get lucky or you don't. So that's not a good way to handle that. On top of those medals being very important for people to be able to get a free 4,000 crystals. Now, I'm not saying make it super easy to obtain the medals, but make it at least relatively, I would say, understandable, like relatively acceptable, right? I guess the best way of putting it is, if you have actually no, not even boost units, because I was going to use like an example with Mui Goku, but I think that's a bad idea. Let me rephrase that then. The fact that it's an anniversary should have guaranteed the drop of those medals. Now, I'm not saying that it should be like you get like 50 medals per run, or whatever the case may be. No. Like that would be way too generous. I can understand if they don't do anything like that, but like per run, 5 medals or 10 medals, like as a max or whatever. So at least there is repetition in playing the event, while not having it be too easy per se. If it was something like that, okay, sure. But with those medals, it's just a random drop, and it could be to the point where you won't even get a sufficient amount. I have done that co-op hundreds of times, and I think I only have 213 of those medals. That is not right by any means. So I hope that in the future, if they do events like that, that they make those type of things guaranteed drops, and then just adjust the amount that you earn per run. I think that makes the most logical sense. Speaking of events, we had the World Challenge Raid. And the World Challenge Raid is, I will say, 50-50 based on the fact of me being a content creator in comparison to the general consumer, right? As a content creator, obviously I summon constantly on those banners in order to get the units, show off the units, and all that good stuff. But that also indirectly helps me with events as well, certain events. In this particular case, the World Challenge Raid, because that raid gives you a significant boost in the was it the anniversary raid medals? It gives you a significant boost in those dropping a significant amount if you have particular units, with the main two being Mui Goku, if I'm not mistaken, Vegeta as well. And even putting Vegeta aside, if you get Goku and you get him up to a certain like star level, you're gonna get a ton of medals. I think that that's completely unfair to free to play. Like pay to play, obviously it's not an issue for us because we can put money into the game, get crystals, summon as many times as we need to, get the unit, and then hopefully be able to boost the unit all the way up to 14 stars. So for pay to play, not really too big of an issue, but for free to play, it completely alienates that base, because sure, there are people who are lucky enough to pull the unit, and yes, there is the probability of people who are free to play that were able to get that unit up to 14 stars. Entirely possible. I'm pretty sure it has happened, but the probability of that happening is very low for free to play, because getting that unit may be fairly difficult, and especially if you saved up all year getting crystals and whatnot, you summon on the banner, you drain all of your crystals, and you don't get that unit, you're practically screwed, and that is entirely unfair. Because I think if you get Mui Goku and he's up to 14 stars, that's like a guaranteed 50 medals that you get. Like, again, guaranteed. But then all the other boost units is like 10 medals, 5 medals, 1 medal. It's not fair at all. So I'm pretty sure they released an update though that's going to readjust the values of how much you earn and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure they said it in the news section. So it's at least good to know that they're going to be addressing that. But the fact that that's how they released it initially was bad. The reason why I'm giving them a bit of like slack on this is because the fact that they've already addressed it. So it's nice that they addressed it, but hopefully in the future they'll think twice about how they want to approach these type of events. And I think the only other thing from there is the fact of Mui Goku running rampant online. I've seen people like back and forth about like this unit. I've seen people say that he's balanced. I've seen people say that he's way too like OP in a sense, and I'll explain that in a bit. I'm at the point where I do believe this Goku is heavily meta dependent, and the reason being is because, and I'll also explain my side in this as well, but he's meta dependent because one, he countered Ultra Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku entirely, which is actually good. I do think that unit was unbelievably snapped, but it's also because of what is in his kit. He has cover change for both Strike and Blast, even though it's only limited to 2 cover changes, but it's still a solid perk. Not only that, his unique gauge is extremely powerful because it's the only unique gauge in the game that not only allows you to dodge practically most forms of attack, but allows you to counter 2 forms of attack as well, being Strike and Ki Blasts. So, and again, when he counters, it deals damage. It's free damage. And because of his kit, it makes this current meta very defensive. And we've seen how bad defensive metas in Legends are multiple times. We've seen that when UI Sign Goku dropped, even though he was a glass cannon, but it definitely was relatively defensive. And we've seen that happen when, even though he's a Zenkai unit now, but both from when he was, when he got the Zenkai Awakening and when he first released the transforming Super Saiyan Goku. That meta was unbelievably defensive because all you had to do was sit back, relax, and wait for somebody to attack so you can counter them with a special move. Defensive meta in Dragon Ball Legends is not fun. It has never been fun, and it never will be. We've already seen defensive meta come and go over and over throughout the span of 4 years, and each time the meta has become defensive, it has been unfun. And the reason being is because it forces you to play a particular way. Nobody wants to do that at all. Like, I don't want to hop into a match and then it's like, you know, the opponent has UI Go or MUI Goku out, and heck, even I have MUI Goku out. And because of that, our unique gauges are full. Maybe we get a few special skill cards in the process, and we're just there, sitting. Maybe throwing out like a few tap blasts, maybe trying to rush up and, like, you know, tap attack, or whatever the case may be. Heck, even tackle. Nobody wants to deal with that. It's supposed to be fast-paced action. So the fact that we can just sit still and not even have to retaliate and get rewarded for it with that unit in particular is unbelievable. Not only that, you tie UI Sign Goku into that and it's even worse. So, because again, like, ironically, UI Sign Goku definitely did fall off, but if you run purple, purple, red, and you get like lots of Zenkai units on there to boost him, he's definitely solid enough to hold his own in this meta, for sure. And you tie him with MUI Goku, and you have a completely defensive team. There's been countless times where I would have UI Sign Goku out, maybe I banished, the opponent will probably tap attack, or maybe, you know, Ki Blast, Strike, whatever case may be. I see that his unique gauge runs out. What do? Swap into MUI Goku and do the exact same thing all over again with the added benefit of being able to counter. So, yeah, again, I'm excited that MUI Goku's in the game. I feel as if, though, again, this is the other thing that I was going to mention. If there was any unit that should be broken, it should be him. It makes sense on paper. It makes complete sense because out of all the characters, MUI Goku absolutely should be broken. But in execution, it doesn't really bode well in the game. So, I mean, lots of people have been talking about this on like all sorts of social media. So just the fact that it's just a collective whole makes this anniversary feel like an absolute mess. Nothing is cohesive at all. And I'm hoping that for part 2 of the anniversary, they really step it up, because if they don't, then this is not going to look good for Dragon Ball Legends. Because the way how I see it now is we have all sorts of hype units added into the game. Actually, we practically have all of the hype units in Dragon Ball, period, in the game, with the exception of Superhero, which I'll touch upon in a bit. But we're at the point now where they absolutely have to start recycling units. Next year, I don't think that there's any characters that they can add for the anniversary that is not currently in the game as of right now. So the 5th anniversary is going to be extremely important. And personally speaking, I do believe that the 5th anniversary will determine the life or the death of Dragon Ball Legends, because they're going to have to try to find a way to sell us a character who's already in the game, but find a way to make them new and fresh and make them appealing all the same, make them anniversary level, if you will. So we'll see what they do, but come the 5th anniversary, if they don't come out swinging, and I'm talking about swinging extremely hard, then from that point onward, Legends days might actually be numbered. And touching back upon part 2 of the anniversary real quick, they have to release superhero stuff. The movie's already out in Japan. There are leaks everywhere. Obviously, there are people that are avoiding leaks and all that stuff, but they have to release superhero stuff for part 2 of the anniversary. If they don't, that is going to entirely kill the vibe for the 4th anniversary. I'm sure that they can probably add like an ultra unit. That would be pretty cool and all that stuff, but that would really hinder the experience of the 4th anniversary, because again, Superhero was supposed to release in Japan in April. We should have already had these units in the game, which we got 2 of them, which is Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. But to say that the developers do not know what to expect in that movie is absolutely like ridiculous, right? They for sure know what's in the movie. Prime example, there's no way that, you know, the movie was originally supposed to release in April, and then within that month they suddenly developed Gamma 1 and 2. That's not how game development works. You know that they've been working on those characters for at least a few months ahead of time. So seeing that they already have those characters at the ready, there's no way that by the actual release of the movie, they don't have any of the, like, you know, newer content that we don't know about, at least in the West, officially I should say, but they don't have any of that content created at all. There's no way that they don't. So if they don't release something for Superhero in Legends that's anniversary level hype, then that will probably end up killing the entire hype for the anniversary, unless they have like a part 3 or something. So again, we'll see what they do, but I really hope that they don't screw it up. I would say probably one thing about the anniversary that's been solid in terms of characters was Zenkai Vegito Blue. I still think he's a great unit. I think they handled him very well, holds his own in the meta, and ironically can counter UI or MUI Goku. So there is also that. But yeah, man, just again, this video was unscripted. I just went completely off like the top of my head because I want to see Legends thrive. I want to see Legends succeed. And again, for a game that I do love dearly, if there's any type of thing that I can note as criticism, of course I'm gonna point that out, because all I want at the end of the day is to enjoy this game and to see it flourish. But we can't do so unless we point out the wrongs of the game as well. And as of right now, one of the biggest wrongs of this game is the 4th anniversary and how they handled it. So I'm hoping that from this point onward, they start handling this game with a bit more care, so that way the game can continue to succeed. But I do want to know you guys' thoughts on the 4th anniversary in the comment section below, because again, I know this is a hot topic in the community right now, so I want to know you guys' thoughts, as well as ways that you believe that they can improve the 4th anniversary, or ways that they could probably improve for the future, for like the 5th anniversary or Legends Festival or whatever the case may be. Again, all of those criticisms that you have, let me know in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.